Each and every Thursday, sportsmemo.com goes back in time and you can daily pick packages priced at only $5. And yes, for those wondering, that includes 5% best bets, normally priced at $30. This is the real Throwback Thursday. As an added bonus, all first-time customers will be credited $25 in WagerBucks after their initial $5 purchase. So each and every Thursday, make sure to go to sportsmemo.com and get best bets from the hottest cappers for only $5.
All right, here we go, guys. Welcome back in the NBA Tip-Off Show, powered by WagerTalk.com. It is a slow start to the second half as two games on the board here tonight. And of these two, we're going to talk about, well, hell, we're going to talk about both of them, aren't we? We're going to go over the Wizards and the Grizzlies. We're going to do San Antonio taking on Dallas, of course, waiting for tomorrow as the full second half kicks in. But we'll get by with these 2 days with two of the absolute finest. Sorry, I didn't realize Tony Finn's here. But look at what we got. Steve Merrill back in the house here with us, as well as Tony Mejia taking up the middle portion. And there he is, basically because nobody else was around. Tony Finn in the house, baby, ready to rock and roll here. We are excited, guys. It's good to have the NBA back. We've kind of been inundated, of course, with college basketball. But now that we've had a couple of days to kind of step away from the NBA, maybe look at it a little bit differently through a different lens now as we begin the second half. But Steve, just to recap, let me start with you. The NBA season up to this point, and what do you got going on at Wager Talk tonight, in fact?
Yeah, Joe, no best bet tonight, just the two games. We're going to cover them here for free for everybody. But I do have a college basketball best bet, which is on the nighttime card. And, of course, college hoops has been fantastic. A rare miss last night, and that dropped us below the 101% return on investment. So we're a little bit below doubling your bankroll in 3 months. Going to get back to that mark tonight with a nice winner at WagerTalk.com.
Suck. Tony Mejia, talk to me, my man. How you been, buddy? Talk to us about your NBA season for those that might be new to us here today. And what do you got? I know you got a lot of stuff happening right now at Wager Talk.
Well, my NBA season hasn't gone as hoped. Got hot with totals for a little while, but we'll hopefully get going here in the second half and into the postseason. It's just been a weird year for me, both capping these games and seeing all the 20-point meltdowns, which I think has to do with this virus. I'm going to blame everything on the virus because why not? But the fact is that teams get up by 20-something points and you mentally check out. And at the professional level, you just can't do that because these guys are too good. So I would chalk all the blown leads up to just being focused for a time and then going back to the bench, putting on a mask, which is alien to all these guys, and then checking back in, and then suddenly you find yourself in a close game. But all of those are excuses. Haven't had the best year. Hope to pick it up here in the second half.
Yeah, well, you blame the virus. I blame Tony Finn. And look at that. He's here right now. Tony Finn. No, we kid, Tony. We love Tony. It's actually been a very profitable NBA season, Tony, for you. I know you've been crushing it. Your clients have been cashing tickets, my friend. So kind of recap for us how it's gone for you and, of course, what it is that you have, if anything, up tonight at WagerTalk.com.
Well, you stole my line. First off, when Anthony blamed the virus, I was going to say, well, I was going to thank him, say, well, thanks, Anthony, because most people are blaming me for their losses in the NBA, and so at least he's blaming COVID. My NBA season hasn't been great. It really hasn't been great. Neither has my college. In fact, since we kind of returned from that hiatus we had, the 5-month hiatus last year, pedestrian would be generous for me. So even in my strongest suits, which are the NFL and college football, Major League Baseball, I look forward to that. I am 3-0 so far this spring in an arena or a container that some people here on the show think doesn't matter, but a winner's a winner. 3-0. And tonight, what do I have? I have a baseball game up this afternoon, a twilight affair from the Cactus League, and I like this game considerably. So no NBA yet, no college yet, although I have about 5 on my short list. Check back, WagerTalk.com, Tony Finn homepage for updates on tonight's card. Anything else?
All righty, Merrill. Let's thank you very much for that, for the way to just crap all over yourself like that and tell us that you're betting like 5-inning games in preseason baseball.
Seven-inning games.
Spring training.
Seven-inning games.
Okay, good stuff. Let's move on here, guys, if we can. We are going to start with this Wizards-Memphis Grizzlies game tonight. Opens up as the Grizz laying 2 total. 238 in this one, and I'm seeing some 237s. I am seeing 3.5s in a number of places. So, Merrill, I'm coming to you first here, my man. It was an interesting end to the first half for the Wizards. Seem to have turned it around there a little bit. No more free Bradley Beal signs showing up, but Memphis Grizzlies kind of uneven. How are you going to approach this game here?
Yeah, I mean, first, we'll just kind of take the disclaimer. You have to be very cautious here the first few days out of the All-Star break. I think there's no doubt about that. Just like you had to be cautious last week heading into the All-Star break. Players are often looking forward to that, 4 or 5 day mini vacation. And now we have to worry about the hangover, the letdown, the whatever you want to call it. And as Tony Mejia said, I mean, it's been a crazy season to start with all the distractions. And now we have our first post-All-Star break reboot here. We'll see what happens. Just some big theory picture takeaway stuff that I have is, first of all, the guys should be rested. I think when you're rested, you see a little bit more defense normally. I think fatigue hurts defense more than offense. And then also, if they've been off for 4 or 5 days, there could be a little bit of chemistry, a little bit of rust as far as offense goes. Maybe we'll look at first quarter, first halves under. If you like unders tonight, maybe it'll take a little time to get going. I bring that up because the Wizards have obviously been a very high-scoring team, a defenseless team for the most part this year. Yet they're still just 17-17 to the over on the season. Before their last 5 games, before the break, stayed under. And like you said, they've covered 3 4 of their last 5 as well. So they're playing better defense. That's why they're covering some point spreads. We'll see if that continues. This line opened 38, I believe. It's now ticked down to 237 in most spots. That's a pretty big total. Teams come out a little bit flat after the break.
Yeah, it's Tony, who do you think comes out focused, ready to go here? Because Washington winners 8 of their last 11 heading into the break. They're inconsistent teams, not a lot of fun to bet on in the NBA. So how are you going to approach this game?
Which Tony?
Here, the man and the guy in the middle. What are you, your first time on the show? We always go in order. You got it.
The one that's on the screen.
I'm
on
not
the
looking
main
at the
screen right now.
My apologies. Look, you guys know I do my numbers. Obviously, that's the first thing I do, and all 3 sets of numbers spread, and for spread total for San Antonio, Dallas is pretty much right on. Spread for Washington, Memphis, practically right on. The total, a lot higher than I expected. I topped it out at 232, and it's 238 and coming down. Understood that Washington gives up the most amount of points in the league at 119 per. But they've picked it up. I don't know what people expect in terms of Ja Morant, Russell Westbrook just going out there and playing full bore immediately, and no Jaren Jackson Jr. in this. Grayson Allen's still out with his concussion, so the Grizz are down a shooter. My first inclination was to go under in this game, but at the same time the pace could get there. But that's the only thing that threw me regarding these 2 matchups. They didn't even know if Scotty Brooks was going to be cleared to coach in this game until yesterday. He looks like to be a go, but you always are a little leery when there's uncertainty regarding that situation, and it's the coach of the team that you figure all the players have been around.
It's Finn, what do you think, man? Would you approach this from the side perspective here as that number continues to rise from Memphis, or the total? Because we saw this back, I think that game was March 2nd, and they hit 236 in that one. But I think both teams hit almost 50% in that game from the floor. So how do you approach it?
I would approach this game from the side. I'm on the Grizz in this game. If anything, I have some questions about the number, the line in the game. I have some questions about how the Grizz are going to approach the second half. They right now I think they have a 3-game lead in the 10th spot over the Pelicans from what I looked at yesterday. I think only 2.5 games separate them from even number 7 San Antonio. So I expect the second half of the season to be as crazy as the first half, maybe crazier, as Anthony discussed. What what can we expect? What can't we expect? Or what should we expect? What are we going to see? April's going to be a long month that basically tests the Grizz depth and their strength. They have, I think, 11 games and 11 of the 17 games are on the road in this month, including a 7-game road trip across 10 days. And while there's no timetable for Jackson's return, I think he's going to, from what I understand and in my intel, he'll get to play about 25 or 30. So that gives you an idea of when he's probably going to come back. And there's 40 games scheduled in the second half, more than any other team for the Grizz. The first time these two met, the Grizz handled the Wizards well, and that's when I think Beal and both Beal and Westbrook were really good in the game. I think, let's just put it this way, top performers tonight are going to be Morant. Morant came out of the first half on fire. Didn't he score 35, or at least over 30 in both those games? His three-point shooting is a little bit suspect, but I'd approach this game, Joe, from the side. I do like the side. I like the Grizz. I think the number's right, or I think the number's fair and favorable. So for those who are interested in getting involved in the NBA tonight, join me with the Memphis Grizzlies.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, Memphis Grizzlies.
Was this a live take?
Yes, Memphis
Is this
Grizzlies.
a live take?
Holy crap. Let's go to the second game if we could. I think you like the Grizzlies. We could have gotten that through in a heartbeat. All right, here it is. Without any further ado, our good friend John Ryan bringing us another angle of the day from sportsmemo.com. And I can't think of 3 better gentlemen to decipher this than the ones we have on the show today. So let's get at it, guys. We're betting on favorites up to 9.5 points that have won 51 to 60% of their games, also coming off an ATS win. And they'll be facing an opponent with a similar 51 to 60% win percentage in the same season. This system, 80, 31, and 2 against the number, 72.1% over the last 7 seasons. And this angle applies to the Spurs and the Mavericks here tonight. Opened up at 4.5 with Dallas. And I'm seeing some 4s that are popping up. The total is, boy, it shot up. I'm seeing 226s pretty much across the board here. So, Tony Mejia, I'm coming to you first, my man. Talk to me about the Spurs Mavericks kicking off at 8:30 Eastern time tonight.
No, got to ask John if the All-Star break is baked into that little gem that he.
I like that.
But look, the Spurs are a fantastic road team. At least have been. It's a short sample size, but they're 9-4, and obviously going in state, and with both of these teams coming back off the break, I don't see much of a home court advantage for Dallas. So I don't see any reason to lay points and ride the Mavericks. So on that alone, I'm with the Spurs. The Spurs actually are the healthiest they've been in months. Derek White is back off concussion off of COVID protocol. LaMarcus Aldridge is cleared. DeRozan set to play. So this is a healthy Spurs group. San Antonio up by 2 games in the loss column in the Southwest Division. So big game for both. But, I think at least in the first half, you're trying to get your juices flowing again. Only Luka Doncic played in the All-Star game, and all these other guys have been out, decompressing. So, from that standpoint, I see a lot of advantages in taking the points and hoping that the Spurs come out with the right approach.
It's, I didn't realize it, too, that San Antonio, I don't think they had an all-star. So they're well-rested, Tony Finn, that's for sure. And the all-star break could not have come at a worse time for Dallas. They were 9-2 heading into the break there, had some momentum going, even though they were beating absolutely nobody. So now that they're back on the court tonight, who do you like in this matchup?
I'm contrary to Anthony. I would be on Dallas here for the simple reason, and it's the only way I've approached Dallas so far this year, and that is if Dallas can keep in touch or at least hold serve in the rebounding department, they've been really good. I think they're 8-1 this year when they out-rebound their opponents. And this isn't a San Antonio team that dominates on the glass, be it defense or offensive boards. And in that situation, you're correct. I mean, Dallas went into the break hot. Let's see how they come out. Again, Steve made a very good point, and that is I think we need to be careful, at least cautious, at least a little bit prudent for the first week, and we'll see how things start trending. But tonight I'll be on Dallas.
All righty. And Merrill, looks like our friend John Ryan of SportsMemo.com at angle is looking at Dallas here tonight in this one. How about you?
Yeah, I was ready to decipher it for you, Joe. I thought you were going to try to catch me off right to me, and I was going to break it down in layman terms. The 51 to 60% win percentage for both teams. I'm not a huge fan of kind of the subsetting it like that when you're doing research, but I think what you could say is those are basically bubble playoff teams that are kind of on the bubble of making the playoffs or not. So I think that makes sense. 9.5 or less, that's a single-digit favorite. That's probably an easier way to say it, to be honest. And then off an ATS win, they've got some momentum, or maybe they're a little undervalued. But as Tony Mejia said, is exactly the first thought I had as well, Tony, is that, all bets are off because you've had 7 days off for the two teams. And I bet there's only maybe 5 or 6 games out of the 100 in that sample in which that was the case, So I don't put much stock into really any systems right now going into the next couple of days, just because you have this long layoff, which doesn't apply to 99% of the NBA games within the systems probably. With that said, though, Joe, Dallas definitely did not need the All-Star break. And that actually is a good point to bring up, something I should have mentioned earlier. Kind of like with the bye in the NFL, I always treat the bye week as an anti-momentum indicator, meaning that teams that are really hot don't need it. Teams that were really cold often need it. And we often see struggling teams in the NFL come out and play well after the bye. We see the exact opposite. Hot teams sometimes cool off. I think you could kind of take that same approach, and that would apply to the Wizards, by the way, in the last game we talked about. And it would apply to Dallas. They've won, I believe, 10 of their last 13. An angle that's interesting about this, we don't talk about rivalries in pro sports really at all. We do it a lot in college football and basketball. But, this is an in-state rivalry for the most part. And Dallas was the whipping boy for about a decade. San Antonio had won 15 out of 17. And the Mavericks, I think, have now taken like 4 of the last 5 or something like that since. Maybe that gets them focused tonight. I think if they are focused, they're the better team. You also mentioned, Joe, the total, huge move. I mean, this is our overtime game in the shortened show today. Opened 219.5, and it's 226 now. I don't quite understand that huge move because Dallas played really good defense down the stretch, and that's one of the reasons they went on that 5-1 straight-up run. And by the way, they went 5-1 under in those last 6 wins. So don't quite understand that monster move in the total. I would say if you're looking to play the over, you probably missed the boat on that one.
Yeah, what was it, 239, I think, the last time we saw these two teams play here. So the move is certainly, it came, and it's continuing to creep up here a little bit, 226.5. So I'm seeing in some spots after opening up at 219.5. So there you go, guys. We got ourselves a couple of games here. We'll just recap it real quick, make sure that as far as the games and the teams and the sides that we like. And Tony Finn, I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to guess, at least when I woke up, I heard you like Memphis. So I'm going to assume you like the Grizz here tonight. That's going to be one of them? And if you had to pick somebody in this Dallas game, who are you leaning towards?
I'll lean with the Mavericks.
The Mavs?
Again, when they out-rebound their opponents, are 8-1 this year. And I think this is a team that can out-rebound.
All right, so he's going Memphis and Dallas is the way he is leaning here in the 2 games tonight. And Tony Mejia, which 2 games or which 2 sides you like in these 2 games?
Well, that makes me go with the Wizards and the Spurs line.
Yeah.
We got to love the honesty. There you go, Stevie Merrill. How about you, my friend? Are you just going to be, do I have to hit you with the Switzerland flag? Is that what we're going to have to do?
If there's ever a time to be Switzerland, it's probably tonight, by the way, because these 2 games, I think, are kind of a crapshoot. So I would advise clients to get my college basketball best bet at WagerTalk.com. But I was reluctant to wear the gold shirt today. It's really warm here on the East Coast, shorts and T-shirt weather. But it does say green, so green and gold. So I thought it was fitting. And then when I saw Tony Finn had gold on, we had to make the lemon meringue Tony Mejia sandwich for the show. And then on top of that, a week from today, children, is St. Patrick's Day. I'm not normally on the Wednesday show, but we might have to figure out a way to splice in my leprechaun outfit that I'll be wearing a week from today on March 17th. Just so many different reasons to turn into NBA tip-off. And by the way, if you want to picks for these 2 games, I'll go under in both of them. I think teams come out a little rusty after the layoff, and we'll take the under in both games tonight.
Still trying to figure out that whole sandwich thing, Mejia. We've lost so many people at this point. It's just, you get the meringue going in the middle with Mejia right there. I can't even stand it. And one last, Tony Finn, you mentioned your spring baseball there. Is there a game that you circled here tonight you want to throw out quick?
I will. I'll throw a game out. I like. Well, it's not tonight. I guess it would be coming up in a couple hours. It'd be kind of a twilight event in the Cactus League between between Oakland and Milwaukee. If you look at the lineups, you're going to see that Oakland's finally quit pitching, or at least the coaches have quit using their starting pitching in sim games, and they're going to hit live action tonight. You're going to see Bassett, who was pretty good in a short season last year in his brief time when he wasn't hurt or dealing with something else. And I like the A's additions, the Oakland's additions this year. Let's go with the A's about minus 130, $140, I think, at some places over the Milwaukee Brewers, who are beat up.
Okay, there we go. Thank you very much. One more time there, Tony Finn.
Oakland and
Memphis.
Oakland and Memphis.
I got to chime in here. Tony Finn just pulled a Carmine because I'm looking at the odds board right now, and it's showing bottom of the first, Brewers are winning 1-0. That game went at 3 Eastern 10 minutes ago. So, unless it's a doubleheader, Tony, I don't think it's a twilight.
Is it a twilight?
Eastern game.
You see, I do get
losing 1-0.
I do get Eastern time and Pacific time kind of confused sometimes. It depends on how many doses of mushrooms I had last night.
I am out.
And even worse is his pick of losing. It's not even winning on top of that.
Fantastic, Finn.
And that's a bad thing?
I'll take Milwaukee.
I'm going Milwaukee. You know what? I think Mejia had it right, man. It's like, I'm going the other way. I'm going to go Washington and the Spurs here tonight. Either way, guys, full show back again tomorrow. NBA tip-off will be back, same time. Hit that bell in the upper right-hand corner. Make sure you head over there. Tony Finn, all locked in. If the games haven't already started, he does have some plays up at WagerTalk.com. Tony Mejia ready to go. Steve's got a college basketball play up there. Head over to WagerTalk.com. Check these guys out. Come back and join us tomorrow as we get to do it all over again, guys. So best of luck with your plays tonight. Come back and join us for the full edition of the NBA Tip-Off Show tomorrow, guys. Best of luck. We'll see you then.
The WagerTalk College Basketball Tip-Off Show, anchored by Dave Koken and Ralph Michaels, has been a success. Dave and Ralph wanted to personally thank each and every one of you who watched the show by having a blowout college hoops special to end the season. How would you like to get every release for the rest of the regular season, all the conference tournament selections, plus March Madness through the National Championship on April 5th, or any other postseason play? Now, how about paying only $2.99? Well, $2.99 each is a very fair price, but they wanted to offer a blowout season special. If you go to Dave or Ralph's WagerTalk homepage,